The first announcement sounded normal. Nobody paid attention to it. At 11:42 p.m., the last southbound train pulled into Ashbury Station exactly on schedule. The platform was nearly empty. A few exhausted commuters, a college student wearing headphones, a man asleep on a bench, and Daniel Mercer. Daniel stepped onto the train just before the doors closed. The ride home normally took 20 minutes, 3 stops. Nothing interesting. Nothing unusual. The train pulled away from the station. The overhead speaker crackled softly. Then the automated voice spoke. Next stop, Grand Avenue. Nobody looked up. The train continued through the tunnel. A minute later, the speaker activated again. Passenger in car 3 wearing the red jacket. The voice paused. The passengers glanced around. A young woman in a red jacket slowly looked up from her phone. The voice continued. Do not exit at Grand Avenue. Silence filled the car. The woman laughed awkwardly. Several passengers exchanged confused looks. Then the speaker went silent. Daniel frowned. The train rolled into Grand Avenue Station. The doors opened. The woman in the red jacket stepped onto the platform. The doors closed. The train pulled away. Nobody spoke. Then every light inside the train flickered once. Just once. The man across from Daniel looked toward the window. Was that part of it? Nobody answered. The overhead speaker crackled. Passenger has exited. The voice sounded almost disappointed. Then silence returned. The train entered another tunnel. Daniel checked his phone. No signal. Not unusual underground. Still, something felt wrong. The train should have reached the next station already. Instead, the tunnel outside continued endlessly. Black concrete walls racing past the windows. Then the announcement returned. Passenger in car 2 reading a newspaper. A middle-aged man slowly lowered his paper. Everyone looked at him. The voice continued. Remain seated when the train stops. The man laughed. What is this? Nobody answered. The train suddenly slowed. Brakes screeched softly. A station appeared outside. Daniel immediately knew something was wrong. There was no station name, no advertisements, no people, no signs. Only a long empty platform illuminated by pale yellow lights. The doors opened. Nobody moved. The newspaper man stood slowly. I'm getting off. A woman nearby grabbed his arm. Maybe don't. He shook her off. It's probably some prank. The man stepped onto the platform. The doors closed behind him immediately. The train pulled away. Several passengers rushed to the windows. The man remained standing alone beneath the station lights. Watching the train leave, then the platform lights shut off. One by one, until only darkness remained. The speaker crackled. Passenger has exited. Again, that same strange disappointment. Daniel felt a knot forming in his stomach. The train accelerated. Faster than before. Far faster, the tunnel walls blurred. Then every map display inside the car changed. The usual route map vanished. In its place appeared a single message. A route currently unavailable. The college student stood abruptly. What the hell? Several passengers pulled out their phones. Still no signal. No internet. Nothing. Then the speaker returned. Passenger Daniel Mercer. Every muscle in Daniel's body tightened. The train car became silent. Everyone turned toward him. Daniel stared at the speaker overhead. The voice continued calmly. Remain seated. Nobody laughed this time. Nobody spoke. Because Daniel had never told anyone his name. The speaker clicked off. A woman near the doors whispered, How does it know that? Daniel had no answer. The train entered another station. This one looked even stranger. The platform was full of people. Dozens of them, standing perfectly still, facing the train. Not moving, not blinking, just watching. The doors remained closed. Nobody on the platform moved. Nobody inside the train moved either. The speaker crackled. Do not acknowledge individuals on platform 4. The train immediately accelerated again. The platform disappeared into darkness. Daniel looked around. Passenger count felt wrong. More people seemed to be inside the train now. Not many. 1 or 2? Maybe. A man standing near the far door. A woman seated in the back corner. Had they been there before? Daniel couldn't remember. The lights flickered. Then the train cameras activated. Screens above each doorway displayed live footage from every car. Passengers immediately began watching. Then someone screamed. Daniel looked up. The camera feed showed car 5. Empty seats. Empty aisle. Except for one figure standing at the far end. Tall. Motionless. Facing the camera. Passengers rushed toward the connecting door. The door wouldn't open. The figure didn't move. The speaker crackled. Do not enter car 5. The image vanished. The camera feed returned to normal. The figure was gone. Nobody spoke. Nobody needed to. Fear had finally settled over the train. Then the announcements became more specific. Passenger in seat 14 should avoid eye contact. A man immediately looked down. Passenger near door 2 should remain standing. A woman slowly stood. Passenger Daniel Mercer should not move to another car. Daniel's pulse quickened. The announcements weren't random. They were watching. Watching everyone. Tracking them. Then the train entered another station. This one had a name. The first name all night. The sign read, End of line. Several passengers stood. The speaker immediately activated. Do not exit. The doors opened. Nobody moved. Outside, the platform looked normal. Almost. Until Daniel noticed there were no tracks beyond the station. Only darkness. Endless darkness. As if the train had reached the edge of something. The doors closed. The train continued forward anyway. Straight into the darkness. The passengers began panicking now. People shouted, pulled emergency handles, banged on windows. Nothing worked. Then every light shut off. Complete darkness filled the train. For several seconds, only breathing could be heard. Then the emergency lights activated. Dim red illumination filled the cars, and suddenly everyone noticed something horrifying. There were more passengers. Far more. Every seat appeared occupied. People Daniel had never seen before now sat silently throughout the train. Watching? Not speaking. Not moving. Just watching. The speaker crackled softly. Passenger count updated. The train continued forward. The unknown passengers remained silent. Daniel looked toward the nearest one. An older man sitting across the aisle. The man slowly smiled. The speaker activated immediately. Do not interact with newly boarded passengers. Daniel looked away. His heart pounded. Nobody had boarded. The train doors had never opened. Then the route map changed again. This time it displayed only one destination. Final stop. Estimated arrival, 2 minutes. The speaker activated one last time. Passengers are reminded. The voice paused. Almost thoughtfully. Not everyone who boards reaches the final stop. The train slowed. Outside the windows, lights appeared. A station emerging from darkness. Huge. Far larger than any subway station Daniel had ever seen. Hundreds of people stood on the platform, motionless, watching the arriving train. The doors began unlocking. One by one, the speaker delivered its final announcement. Passenger Daniel Mercer. Daniel froze. The entire train seemed to be listening. The voice continued. Please remain on board. The train stopped. The doors opened. Nobody moved. Not Daniel. Not the passengers. Not the silent figures that had appeared. Outside, hundreds of motionless people continued watching the train. Then Daniel noticed something. One of the people standing on the platform was himself, wearing the same clothes, standing perfectly still, waiting. The doors remained open. The announcement never repeated. And somewhere beyond the station lights, something else was arriving.